Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Troy Clayton, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Sergeant Jeanette McNeely. We warmly welcome the family of Flight Lieutenant Roland Reginald Cowan, whose story will be told shortly. We also warmly welcome Air Commodore Peter McDermott, retired, representing the Air Force Association. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Return and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Club Association. We welcome members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by family and visitors to the memorial. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. Thank you. If you're able, you may be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Flight Lieutenant Roland Reginald Cowan. Roland Cowan was born in Brisbane on the 21st of August 1919, the youngest of three sons born to Herbert Reginald and Lucy Agnes Cowan. Young Roland won a scholarship to attend Brisbane Grammar School, after which he began working as a clerk in the Brisbane office of the Liverpool, London and Globe Insurance Company. He enlisted in the militia on the 14th of February 1939, joining the 61st Battalion, known as the Queensland Cameron Highlanders. Cowan attended training camps, and on the 22nd of September 1941, he and his comrades were called up for full-time duty. Known by the nickname Chip, Cowan soon reached the rank of sergeant, but discharged in January 1942 in order to enlist in the Royal Australian Air Force, which he did on the 1st of February 1942 at the age of 22. After initial training, he began training as a pilot, attending elementary flight training school in Narromine. In October, he travelled to Canada, where he was attached to the Royal Canadian Air Force and attended service flying training school in Claresholm in the province of Alberta. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he is one of the almost 27,500 RAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, air gunners and flight engineers who, throughout the course of the war, joined Royal Air Force squadrons or Australian squadrons based in Britain. Travelling to United Kingdom in March 1943, Cowan joined No. 27 Operational Training Unit in August. Based at RAF Litchfield in Staffordshire, England, this unit trained night bomber crews as part of Bomber Command. In February 1944, Cowan joined No. 467 Squadron, equipped with Avro Lancaster heavy bombers. As part of Bomber Command, the squadron's focus for much of the war was the strategic bombing offensive against Germany. Bombing almost entirely by night, it participated in all of the major campaigns, including the battles of Rohr, Berlin and Hamburg. As well as bombing Germany, the squadron attacked targets in France, Italy, Norway and Czechoslovakia, supported ground operations before and during the D-Day landings. It also raided the weapons research facility at Prunmunda, as well as V-1 flying bomb and V-2 rocket assembly and launch sites in France. On the night of the 24th of June 1944, Flight Lieutenant Cowan was piloting a Lancaster on a raid on flying bomb launch sites at Préville in France. Just before midnight on the crew's 33rd and final sortie, while circling the target area, their aircraft was coned by searchlights and hit by flak. It broke up over France, not far from the Channel. Investigations revealed that while some crew members had managed to bail out, none had survived. 5 were Australian and 2 were British. They were Flight Sergeant Paul O'Connell, Sergeant Harry Feltham, Flight Sergeant Herbert Brown, Sergeant Jack Sheffield, Flight Sergeant Arthur Summers, Flight Sergeant Andrew West, and Flight Lieutenant Roland Cowan, who was 24 years old. Cowan was posthumously awarded a Distinguished Flying Cross. According to family legend, he had become engaged to a lady from Scotland before his passing. With no known grave, today Roland Cowan is commemorated at the Runnymede Memorial, dedicated to more than 20,000 men and women lost in air and other operations during the Second World War. His name is also listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst more than 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Flight Lieutenant Roland Reginald Cowan, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub of Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support during the memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening. Thank you.